Welcome back guys. In the previous lecture we have completed the setup of new React application and we have created the Firebase project, Firebase web project, and we have copied the Firebase configuration file from the Firebase project and we have written code for the connection of React with the Firebase. Now we have to check whether our connection is successful or not. As like our MongoDB and SQL connection, in Firebase there is no method like checking connection. You just need to send the data to the Firebase. If our data is sent successfully, then our Firebase connection is successful. So now I will import this Firebase object in the app.js because we have to use with our components only. So in the app.js I will import Firebase object. Import firedb from :/Firebase. So you need to import from this file. So now we need to create the object of the Firebase real-time database. This is firedb is the object of Firebase and we have to create one more object which is called for the real-time database. So I will create const Firebase real-time database db, Firebase real-time database equal to firedb dot database. Here we need to mention the parenthesis, that means function. So const Firebase real-time database is equal to firedb dot database. So now I will add one button. So for this button I will write the name as send data, Control S, and I will write one on click function for this button. On click. So after clicking this button we have to execute the function send data. So here I will write that function send data. So now I will create one object. As I said, Firebase is nothing but the MongoDB. Firebase real-time database is nothing but the MongoDB. So that means it will have the data in the form of JSON. So here also I will create one object where sample data is equal to. So here I will create one object with some properties. So I will write first name first name, and I will write the value as React.js, and I will write last name is the second property, last name as JavaScript, and I will write email as firebase@gmail.com. firebase@gmail.com. So this is one sample object. Now I want to send this object to the Firebase to store in real-time database. So how can we send that? Already we have the Firebase real-time database object. Here you can see this is the Firebase real-time database object. So now I will show you the method to send the data to the Firebase real-time database. First we have to specify the object name, Firebase real-time database object name dot ref. Ref means reference. So in this reference you have to specify the collection name. Collection is nothing but the number of documents. So in MongoDB as well as in Firebase we have the same structure: database, collection, documents. Number of documents is called as the collection. Number of collections is called as the database. So in the ref you have to specify the collection name. So here I will write sample collection. So this is our collection name dot push. So this is the method. That means we are pushing data to the sample collection. So here first this push method accepts two parameters. The first one is object that you want to send to the Firebase database. So object is sample data, and the second is callback function. So this callback function takes the error as the parameter. That's it. So if you want to check whether there is any error, you can check if error. If you want to check the success function, you have to specify if there is no error. If not error, you have to print the message in the alert like data sent successfully. Data sent successfully. Else is nothing but if there is any error. Else you have to send the message like Firebase connection failed. Firebase connection failed. And here you have to print the error console.log, because we need to know what type of error it is. Console.log error, Control S. That's it. Our program is completed. Now let's check the output. So here you can see this is our application React Firebase connection. So now I will click the send data button. After clicking this send data button, if you get the alert pop-up with the message data sent successfully, then our Firebase connection is successful. If you get the alert pop-up with the message Firebase connection is failed, then that is our message. That means our Firebase connection is failed. Now I will click on the send data button. Here you can see there is no alert pop-up. Now I will go to the console. So here there is no message in the console also. Let me check what is going on here. Send data, on click send data. Where is the mistake? Let me refresh. Here you can see we got the error here. Firebase database, Firebase warning, Firebase error. Please ensure that you spell the name of your Firebase correctly. Already we got the error in the console, but the error is not inside the red color. So here we got this error because we have specified the Firebase name, that means sample collection, but we haven't created any database in the Firebase as of now. So if you open the Firebase project and if you click on this real-time database, here you can see it is still showing create database. That means we haven't created any database in this FR connection project. So if you do not have database, how can we send the collection or documents? So that's the reason first we have to create the database. So click on the create database. Next, here we need to select the start in test mode. Enable so it will create our new database for FR connection project. Here you can see we got our database. So this is our database. You can see all the collections and the documents in this place. Now I will click on the send data button once again. Refresh the page. Now click on the send data button. Here you can see we got the alert pop-up with the message data sent successfully. That means our Firebase connection is successful with React.js. So click OK and open Firebase project. Here you can see we got our collection name in the Firebase. This is the database name and this is the collection name. If you expand this, if you click on the plus icon, it will be expanded. Click on this plus icon. Here you can see this is the document. And again, if you click on this document, you can able to see the data that we have sent from React.js. So click on the plus icon. Here you can see this is our data. You can see in the data, sample data is equal to first name, last name, email. Here also we got the same data. Email is equal to firebase@gmail.com. First name is equal to React.js and last name is equal to JavaScript. So we have successfully sent our data to the Firebase. That means our Firebase and React.js connection is successful. So if you want to check one more time also, you can send with the different values. So already we have sent the values with React.js, JavaScript and firebase@gmail.com. Now I will send the values with some different names. So instead of React.js, I will write AngularJS. And in the last name, I will write jQuery. And here in the email, I will write sampleemail@gmail.com. Control S. And now I will click on the send data button once again. So here you can see now we have only one object in the sample data connection. If I click on the send data button, our second object will be created automatically with this data. That means AngularJS data. Now I will click on the send data button. Here you can see we got the message data sent successfully. Click on OK. Now open the Firebase project. Here you can see we got the second project, email, first name, last name. So this is the email, sample Gmail, and first name AngularJS and last name jQuery. So we have successfully created the Firebase database, and we have confirmed that our React.js and our Firebase connection is successful. So once again we will recap all the things how to connect our React application with the Firebase. So first of all, we have to create a new React application. That is common for every React project. So then we need to create the project in the Firebase console. So if you are new to Firebase, it will show you the pop-up with the message create new project directly. If you are an experienced person in the Firebase, first it will show you the previous projects and it will show you the new create button. After creating the project, you have to select your platform. In which platform you want to use Firebase features. So you can select any one of the platform like Android, web and iOS. So here React is one of the web library. So we need to select web. After selecting web, we will get the Firebase configuration object. So in that time, if you have forgotten the Firebase configuration file copy, then you can also copy once again. So in this project overview, if you select here, you can select the project settings. And if you scroll down, you can able to see the Firebase configuration object. So here also you can copy, or you can copy at the initial stages only. So after copying, you have to create a configuration file in the React.js. So in the src file, you have to create any one new file and you have to specify some code. So this is the code to connect our React application to the Firebase. First, you have to import two things. The first one will be normal parent. That means all features included in this Firebase. So you have to import this Firebase, and you have to import one more thing which is called as the feature which you want to use in our application. So there are many features of Firebase like real-time database, cloud functions, Firestore, storage, etc. In this application, we have used only database. So that's the reason you have to write import Firebase/database. So then we need to specify the configuration file. Because to connect or to initialize the Firebase application, you have to tell the compiler that this is my configuration. Then only the data will be sent to our Firebase project. So if you make any mistakes in this area, it will show the error. And here export default. That means you have to export the Firebase object. So if you export the Firebase object, you can use the feature of any Firebase from that object like this. So this is the Firebase object, and we have used the feature of database by creating the object. And as of now, our Firebase connection and Firebase object exporting is completed. And here in the send data function, we are sending the sample data to the Firebase. So this is the method Firebase object, Firebase realtime obj.ref. In this ref, we have to specify the collection name. You need not to create the collection in the Firebase, you just need to create the database. So the collection will be created automatically when our request is sent to the Firebase. And this is the collection name. And push is the method. That means inserting the data. This push method accepts two parameters. The first parameter will be the data that we want to send, and the second parameter will be callback function. In this callback function, we have to give the parameter error to verify our connection is successful or not. So then we have to use the if-else conditions to check the errors. If there is no error, we have to print the alert pop-up with the message data sent successfully. If there is any error, we have to print the message Firebase connection failed, console log error. You have to print the error in console. This is about the Firebase connection and sending the data with the Firebase. So in the next lecture, we are going to discuss about how to retrieve the data from the Firebase. As of now, we have seen how to put the connection, how to send the data. In the next lecture, we are going to learn how to get the data from the Firebase. Thank you.